Hello, my friend, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm excited for today because I'm going to take you through 4 questions that you can ask to get you started on your body image journey. All right, so as you know, I am a photographer, body image educator. I am also an author, and I've written this book, The Geode Theory, Chipping Away at Body Image, which is where today's questions are coming from. So if you like the content and you want more, feel free to check out the link in the description below and grab your copy of the book. You can grab the audiobook, which was interesting for me to record, so you can hear me sounding all breathy. But the content's still good. All right. Okay. So why, first of all, do we want to improve our body image? Well, everyone talks about that they don't like their bodies or that their bodies hold them back from things. And so naturally my brain says, oh, so if that's holding you back, then you probably want to fix that thing, right? So I created kind of this framework to help people work through it. And so the part that we're going to go through today is really just the beginning stages to start implementing practices that you can apply daily. And within about 30 days, you're going to see a difference in how you think about your body just by putting these things into practice. Don't believe me? Take the challenge. Okay? All right. So the first thing we have to do is set a destination, a body image destination. And this is really important because most of us, especially those of us that have been socialized as women, have been setting destinations for our bodies all our lives. However, those destinations usually involve transforming or changing our body in some capacity. And so I want to flip that on its head a little bit and shift our perspective to say, what is a destination we can create for our body image if our bodies were to stay the same? Because the reality is, the body you have right now is the body you have right now. You can want what you want, but it is what it is. And so working with what you have, we want to figure out, how can I make peace with what this is? And to me, that's what an improved body image looks like, is being okay with whatever form your body takes. And so the questions we're going to ask today, including this one, are going to help you get closer to that. Okay, so the first question we want to ask is, how will I know when I've improved my body image? And that sounds like a really simple question, but actually, because we've rarely ever thought about it, we only think about what our bodies don't do for us. It might be difficult for you to think of. So I'm going to give you a few examples. Back when I was in my 20s, I remember, and I was kind of going through my body image journey, but I was still very much in diet culture. I remember saying I don't know if I said it to someone or if I just said it out loud, but I said, if I can go to a nude beach or be around other humans naked and not feel like I had to cover my body up, then I will know that I've made it a bit further along on my body image journey. So that was kind of my destination, was setting this goal for myself that if I'm in this situation and I can do that without second guessing it or overthinking it, then I'll have known that I've made progress on loving my body. Because the thing is, our goal setting for humans has to have a quantifiable metric. If you don't know what it's going to look like or what you're looking for, you never know when you've achieved it, and then you get bored, and so it's just easier to go back to what you've always done. This is why diets work, because that's why we think diets work, is because they're based on quantifiable metrics. And so it's easier for somebody to say, you know what, I don't know what it's going to look like if I improve my body image, but I do know what I could look like if I was to lose 50 pounds, because we've seen evidence of those things. And so we need to create a new goal for ourselves. And in order to do that, we have to make it quantifiable. How will you know? So this gives you something to work towards. By doing these practices, the next 3 things, asking the next 3 questions, you're going to get closer to achieving that goal of doing whatever it is with the body that you have in whatever form that it is. So here are a few other ones. So number 1 is the swimming naked or going to a nude beach. And, you'll still have hesitations the first time you go. It's doing something new, of course, but you're going to do it anyways. You're going to step out of your comfort zone. Number 2, doing a boudoir session or an intimate portrait session, or just If you haven't been in front of the camera for 35 years, a portrait session with clothes on, that's fine. You know, if you have a hard time seeing yourself in photos, book that photo shoot. The third thing could be wearing a crop top in public, you know, showing your tum, regardless of what your tum looks like. It can look like wearing, oh, this was a big one for me too, just recently, is wearing whatever the hell I want, even though my brain is like, oh, everyone's looking at you, but still doing it anyways, and not letting my thoughts about my body get in the way of me doing that. And then the fifth one is if there's something you've been putting off because you think, this is important, you think your body will stop you from doing, try doing it anyways. So go hiking up a mountain. Maybe you don't think you can do a triathlon. Maybe you think your body stops you. I'm trying to think of things. Maybe you think your body stops you from being a ballerina, taking a dance class. Maybe you're like, oh, I can't do that because of my body. Listen, I took ballet at 27. You can do whatever you want. So make a list of goals, or just one goal that you'll know that regardless of if your body changes or not, you will be okay to do that thing. Again, it's going to be uncomfortable because it'll be maybe the first time you've done it, but you'll do it despite the comfort, and there your confidence will go up. Okay? So that's question number 1. What do I look forward to doing once I improve my body image? Boop, check. Okay, question number 2 is, what am I grateful for that this body does for me? And so this is a myriad of different things depending on your life experience and all this stuff. But the reality is most of us look at what our bodies don't do for us, how they don't look, how they don't fit clothes, how they don't do blah, 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 because our brains love drama and negativity. Okay. So it's easier for us to hang on to like, oh, my body can't do that, or my body doesn't look like that, or I can't do blue, 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 whatever the thing is. But listen, your body does do some things for you, or else you would not be watching this video right now. So there's one thing. You can be thankful that your body is allowing you to listen to and or watch this video with me. That's awesome. Maybe this body has gotten you through having babies. Maybe this body has gotten you through some sort of trauma. You know, a lot of times we tend to blame our bodies for trauma. This tends to happen. Because our bodies become the representation of the trauma, and so it becomes easier to hate that than the trauma itself. But if we flip that, you're here because your body helped you survive whatever that thing is. I'm not saying it was easy. I'm just saying that the body helped you get to this point. And it may have had to change in order to do that. It may have had to get bigger to do that. It may have had to get smaller to do that. It may have had to change its shape or remove things. Like, things happen, right? But you're here. And so there are certain things that we can be grateful for that our body has done for us up to this point. And so that's the question I want you to ask, and then make a list of things. And now this question plus the next 2 are ones that I want to encourage you to do for the next 30 days. Okay. So whenever you're listening to this, just start on that day. Don't wait till Monday. Don't wait till the 1st. Just start right now. And if every day you can just use your notes pad on your phone, or take out a notebook. If you're like me, you have 5,000 notebooks, and just jot down one thing you're grateful for that your body has done for you in the day. Do this for 30 days, and I promise you'll start to see a shift in how you see your body. Okay? And some days it's going to be hard because there are going to be days where you try on clothes and your body doesn't fit them. Listen, that's not your body's fault. That's the clothes' fault. The clothes' fault? Clothes' fault. Whatever. You get the point. Okay? So that's question number 1. What am I grateful for that this body has done and does do for me now? Boop. Okay, the next question we want to ask ourselves is, how can I savor more moments with this body? Or how does this body allow me to savor experiences and moments? And so I'm going to tell a really sad story, but it is a beautiful story that changed my outlook on what my body is capable of. I think it's a sad story because it happened to me kind of. Okay, so my dad, about 16 years ago, was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. and he had about 3 months to live. And so on his last trip to the hospital, or the hospice, my sister was in the car with him driving, and it was raining outside, and so she was driving, he was in the passenger seat, and he leaned his head out the window and like put his hand out the window, and she was like, "What the hell are you doing?" And my dad knew that he probably wouldn't be coming out of the hospital, and he said, I want to remember what it feels like to have rain on my skin." And so every time I tell a story, I choke up. Give me a minute. And so now, whenever it rains, I go out and remember what it feels like to feel rain on my skin. Because it's something so simple that we forget that one day we might not feel that thing, right? Like, it's very easy to be like, "Ugh, it's wet outside. I don't like that." But sometimes there will be situations that can help you shift your perspective a little bit. Oh, fuck. Okay, give me a minute. I'm fine. Okay. So I want you to think about all the ways that your body allows you to savor experiences. So for me, swimming in water naked, again, that comes up, is a lovely experience. I love being held by water. I love the way water feels on my skin. I love when I'm in the shower and the feeling of hot water running down my back. I love back rubs and having my hair played with. I love napping in midday sun and being close to somebody that I feel safe with. That's one of my beautiful memories. And when we can stop long enough to savor these moments, it's our body that allows us to do that. We create happy places in our mind, which we can visit when we are in times of stress or things like that. And having these savored moments kind of locked away allows our body to flood with the same chemicals we had the day we experienced those things. But what I've noticed happens, or has happened a lot in our culture, especially in Western culture, is that we have been so disconnected from our bodies, especially, again, those of us socialized as women. We've been taught from a young age not to trust what our body is telling us is true. And so we numb out. We don't pay attention to how our bodies feel. So we don't really know what feels good or bad or otherwise. And so the practice of savoring allows you to get back in connection with your body to say, "Oh, how does this make me feel? Like how I'm sitting in this chair right now. What does it feel like on my butt? Like, my butt is uncomfortable, so I'm going to adjust my seating. My foot's falling asleep, so I need to move." But that's my body talking to me. And a lot of the times we will ignore these signs. We will ignore these urges or things that our body's telling us because we think we know better. And this is one of the worst things that society has done to folks and their bodies. We see it in diet culture. We see it in hustle culture, where we think we know best and we override our body's natural needs and ability, which is why stress is as high as it is, which is why we're not robots, and yet we seemingly think we are. So savoring allows us to bridge that connection back and remember that our body is talking to us all the time and telling us what is good for us and what isn't good for us, and to pay attention to that so that we can make necessary choices in our life. So your question is that you want to ask daily is, what is something that I can savor using this body? So whether that's feeling the rain on your skin, feeling the sun on your skin, maybe eating delicious food. Oh man, I was in Italy for a workshop last year, and they made, I don't even like pasta, okay, which I know you shouldn't say if you're going to Italy, but anyways. But the townspeople cooked for us. We were teaching a workshop anyways, and they made this delicious tortellini. And I swear to God, I hope they make it this year or else I'll be sad. I think it was like squid ink tortellini. I don't even know. I don't even like pasta. I rarely like tortellinis. But this stuff, it was so good. Just thinking about it now, like my mouth is like drooling. It was so good. And I just remember like sitting there being like, oh, this is beautiful. And it has been, for myself, for sure, it has been a practice of savoring moments that has changed a lot, has changed my business a lot in terms of paying attention to celebrating moments, recognizing where joy truly is in my business versus where it isn't, and recognizing that, oh, this is a situation where society tells me I should be like feeling good, but my body's not responding in that joyful way. And yet when I'm doing something like arranging a group of 60 humans in their underwear in the mountains in Italy with the sun coming down, and their squeals of laughter and the hugging and just like the excitement that everyone has, like you can even feel it off of me, like the energy is palpable, and like that tells me that's what I'm meant to be doing, not the thing that I was doing before that I thought I should be doing, but it wasn't giving me that. And so savoring moments gives us information. Okay, so I know I elaborated on that one a bit longer, but I think it's really important and an overlooked piece of the body image journey. So I want you to just start stopping in your day to savor little moments. That's it. Okay. The last and final thing that we're going to cover today is going to be the art of forgiveness. And so the question that I want you to ask yourself, this one has two pieces. The first one is, what do I want to forgive my body for? Because again, a lot of the times if we undergo certain types of trauma, or our bodies don't do the things we expect them to do, or they don't look the way we expect them to look, it can cause us stress, right? One of my favorite quotes is, disappointment happens when expectation meets reality, by John Maxwell. Best quote ever, because it's so true. We have been taught by society that our body should look a certain way, and then when it doesn't, we are mad. We're hurt, we're disappointed, we think something has to change, we think we have to change, and that everything tells us we should change. And so we want to forgive our body for not being able to live up to beauty standards. That's what I would write down. You write down whatever it is you want to forgive your body for doing or not doing for you. Okay? The second part of that question is going to be, what does your body want to forgive you for? And when I ask myself this question, a lot of times what comes up is yo-yo dieting, not listening to her asking for sleep when I was working excessively, not going to my doctor's appointments, and not following through on finishing my antibiotics. There's so much that I put my body through, and yet she still persists. Like, this thing is still here and it's still existing and getting me through to the next phase of my life, whatever that is. And so she has to forgive me for a lot of trauma that I have put her into. I have withheld food. I have overfilled her with food. I have made her work excessively. I've made her hurt excessively. I think our bodies become the scapegoats for our self-esteem, and so it was easier for me to be mad at her than it was to do some deep reflection on my ego or my inner self. And so I took it out on her. I squeezed my flesh a lot. I pinched myself a lot. I mean, there were some bad haircuts that happened in there that I did by myself with kitchen shears. We don't need to talk about those. There was a lot of things that I subjected this beautiful body to, and she's just trying to do her job and keep me alive as long as possible. So she has a lot of things to forgive me for, and I have a lot of things to forgive her for as well. And so those are the questions I want you to get started with. Now, if you take all of these questions, and feel free to screenshot this screen here, okay? And I want you to journal these things almost every day. I mean, you're a human. Chances are you're not going to do it for a full 30 days. But if you do, amazing, right? So I want you to put these into practice for the next 30 days. And I want you to just pay attention to, how do you feel at the end of 30 days? What happened for you at the end of 30 days? What changed in your life at the end of 30 days? Did you wear things differently? Did you notice an increase in self-esteem? Did you start doing things that you normally wouldn't do? And so on. Okay. And again, 30 days is not enough to undo 30 years of negative self-talk, but it's a start. And by continually and intentionally focusing on it, you're slowly going to rebuild, or not even rebuild, you're going to build new neural pathways that get your brain going in the direction you want it to go to have a healthier body image or an improved body image, and further away from self-hate. Okay, so if you want more information or you find that this was beneficial and you want to learn more, of course, you can get your own copy of the Geode Theory, Chipping Away at Body Image. You can get it on Amazon, Freeze and Press. Go ask your local bookstore. They might be able to bring it in wherever you want. The link is down below, and you can check out all the different places to get it there. But do let me know how this process goes for you. The next part is the part I can't do for you. You're the one that has to put it into action. And I say this about everything that I teach. I am only here to offer you the tools. It's up to you to put it into action. And so you have to decide that you are worth putting these things into action. Okay? Because I believe it. I just need you to. All right. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.